Alright. Roll on playoffs. The Forgotten versus Devin Doomfist.
I believe this is our second game of the playoffs, if I remember correctly. With OPT.
Yep, second game. Round one. Well, no, actually, it's third game. Second game was Arctic and Training Bots. And Arctic moved on. The winner of this game will play Arctic in the second round.
Start off with Volskaya. See what both teams will be running as far as compositions.
Ready for battle.
Well, looks like we will not be seeing any type of goats, although I say that could potentially be pulled out from the side of dabbing. Yep, as I say that, some Yada goats, the flavor of the month. Meanwhile, we have a Mei Hanzo defense set up here for the Forgotten.
Goats from dabbing, yep.
I have a couple of people holding the high ground, and Diva will be the only one to be able to contest them. Or maybe the Lucio.
They have a long range DPS. That's pretty good. So they're gonna push. Yeah, they're gonna push right in.
Almost early pick on the DNA. Just managed to make it out alive.
Oh, that was a bad wall placement.
Unfortunate wall placement. Charge comes in, doesn't connect with anyone.
Nice pick on
They do get the.
But they're still gonna try to push this though, without their main tank, and that's 2 down. They're gonna have to lose that now. No,
Regroup.
they're not pushing
But
back.
they're not regrouping. They're just staying in. There's a bit of a questionable fall there.
Zach just got
A huge
staggered.
stagger onto this out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They should have pulled back immediately after losing the main tank.
Well, sometimes you can still win the fight even without
Yeah,
your
but they
main
also
tank,
lost
but the problem was
Lucio.
they immediately lost to Lucio.
Yeah.
Chose not to back out.
And I'm here too, watching the stream on my phone while the update file finishes.
Welcome.
Shatter comes in,
Shatter
gets
got
blocked.
Grab gets
A huge
3.
grab gets just about everyone
Let's
there.
get the Reinhardt. Yeah, that's gonna be a full reset.
A lot of ults so expended from the defensive side. They used 3 ults there. Both tank ults. Luckily they
So
do
there's
have
like a 15-second delay, so I probably won't be much help for the first few minutes here until the update file installs.
All good, man. Devin does
Okay.
have 3, almost 4 ults coming out for this, and they just use Rally to push
They're
for this
they're
next
nearing
fight.
all 6 of their
Gonna get this
ultimates.
fight.
They do have the ult advantage.
Grab gets
Grab
both
coming in.
tanks. Oh, nice zombie area from SKS.
Giants forced out early in the fight. They do lose the Reinhardt. They lose the Brig. May ult and both DPS ults being used and sound barrier. Keeping everyone alive for the moment, but questionable ults being used from both sides. They'll just be
The
staggered
zombie area was
kills.
from the start of dabbing, yeah. The Dragons were completely missed.
The Dragons, they used 3 ults there on the defensive side. I believe actually potentially 4.
No,
Star
no,
nearing
they
another-
used 2, I think. The zombie area was from dabbing.
No, well, they used potentially 3 though, because I think they used Nano to start the fight.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
the Forgotten.
Johnny's not on the Genji, so they're not going goats, full goats anymore. And Pilot made the switch for Anna. They do have
Early
triple
Diva Bomb
tanks, though.
coming in.
Oh, nice.
It's 2, surprisingly.
Yeah, nice self-destruct by Nerdy Bear.
Pin onto the Mei. Counter Shatter comes in.
Huge
but
shatter,
gets
but no
swept.
follow-up for that.
Огонь по готовности.
Potential switch coming out from Impav. if he's just gonna throw out the ult like that. And same with the Zarya, they're
They
just wasting ults there.
looks like they're gonna be able to
Unless they're
capture
gonna
this.
change. Yeah. Usually
they-
you don't see Diva Bombs with an initiation like that in the Goats comp. You don't normally see
Zarya
them
safe.
get any picks
TNA
because
does make the
people will
switch
be able
to
to
Sombra.
get away from it.
Stabbing has grab and Dragon Blade. So we might get a potential combo here in this fight. Erica.
Grab gets
I
a couple
thought
people, but
rare,
no Sunbear.
So that was perfect.
Ryan Paul's low, just
Both teams trade
gets
picks.
traded.
Oh, now comes Dragon Blade with the
Most
nano boost.
portal to end, yeah.
He gets
They're
3.
wanting to win this fight. They
Nice 3K like Johnny.
does not look like they're gonna be able to come
He
back
will
and
get one
stall.
tick.
Sleep on the May.
He's not on the point. Not yet.
Blizzard
There's a
comes
low.
in, doesn't
Yeah,
get
get-
anyone.
Oh
Everyone
wait,
else
let's get them
able
off
to
the
get out
point.
left.
Have to put the time in. Zach's in trouble. Here comes Diva Bomb.
Bomb comes out,
Won't get anyone.
doesn't get anything.
EMP and grab.
Good Bionade gets everyone in the grab. I forgot they're able to
Force
hold for the
damage
moment.
push back. And a nice pick on
Johnny swapping over to the soldier. Does fall late, 2 fall late, and just into the face. Fall as well.
Johnny now making the switch to McCree. You're still sticking with the triple ping. They have Earth Shatter and Graviton coming up. And the Forgotten has Earth Shatter, Nano Boost, and almost Sound Barrier. They have the ult advantage.
Swapped off the soldier, went over to McCree. Trying to deal with that Sombra threat on the back line.
Oh, the Shatter got blocked with a Maywall. That was a good Maywall placement.
Grab gets quite a few people though. Slightly late sound barrier, but managing to keep everyone else alive for the moment.
Boosted.
Nano
boosted.
Boostio.
I don't know if that was accidental or intentional. Nice lead there on the Reinhardt. Start low ball.
Shatter comes in. A lot of ults being expended on both sides. Beat used offensively, trying to keep everyone alive through the blizzard. Does
Don't
manage to
help,
do so just for the
but-
moment. Fortunately, it's just 3 alive. They're
So
going to
they're
potentially
gonna-
be staggered
yes,
out
bro.
here.
He gets demacked. Got the pull. And that is gonna push back. Oh my. Oh, that's a nice
And I
pick
will
by
say
me.
that the Samba
Nice
picks
two
seem to be
picks.
helpful there. But they did switch off there, so I'm curious what the thinking was on that.
Looks like Devin's gonna now go the top left side. Their whole team is gonna push top left. They're gonna try to flank.
And they do have that high noon up too, that could be huge.
He's gonna Riptire from
Ew.
DNA. He gets shut down by Zach.
But he's going to get caught out while he was mid-animation. But just another face for some reason, all by himself.
Yeah, he has
Jade
big
ran
trouble.
trying to help him.
Still alive though. Zach keeping him alive. Great, using her bubble. Sarah only gets
Shadow
mute,
gets one.
but gets blocked by the rest of it. They go Tiny.
All
boost.
being expended here. Shadow gets 2.
Grappling up
Both
on
grabs
both
come out at the
sides.
same time. Diva Bomb doesn't get anything,
Johnny
but the
was
picks
too
go
big.
in favor of dabbing.
Looks like they're gonna cap the yep.
1 tick left. It looks like they're going to be able to cap the last tick.
Good last push by dabbing.
They do it with, I believe, just under 10 seconds or so, just before over 10 hit.
They only had 2.4 seconds. left on the clock. Forgotten almost had that go to overtime.
Very solid hold there, though, from Forgotten.
For sure.
And you guys were mentioning the ult economy was a bit peculiar, especially on that first point.
Yeah, this whole map, it seems like their teams are just throwing out ultimates as if like they don't matter.
I've seen multiple times where Shatter will hit, but there's no follow-up, or Gravel hit, and there's nobody to take in the damage that needs to happen there.
So Devin's gonna play Orisa Hog with Reaper and McCree and double outfields.
They're coming out on both sides.
And Forgotten are gonna go with the standard comp of Lion Zarya, Hanzo, Reaper, Anna, and
Well, they do have a decent amount of spam on the
Lucio.
defensive
Oh wait,
side.
no, Mute is made the switch to
Does it
Diva,
say that?
so they're gonna go triple tank with DNA switching to now Reaper.
And Palette electing to swap off and go over to Viana. So we have a 3-2-1 setup over here with DNA being the solo DPS.
Zach slashing
Pushing
from
in very
behind.
aggressively. Good anti-nade. Gets a couple. Trade's going in favor of the Forgotten.
Yeah, the Forgotten has the advantage here.
And Forgotten will be able to take this first point very easily.
With just one push.
Could potentially get a stall on the Palette here.
Johnny does make the switch to Pharah. Oh wait, no, Forgotten is not playing triple support actually. They didn't go with the triple tank. Need to switch to Anna on the last second. They might need a head scan for the Pharah now. Let's see how they do here.
It looks like that's what Mute is trying to be the anti-Pharah.
Yeah.
Ooh, but an early pick on the Etch-a-Sketch. That'll delay the push for the moment. As I say that, they're still wanting to push this, it looks like.
Yeah, they're backing up now. They're gonna wait for the Lucio. And he's back.
Potential late stagger though onto DNA, because it does not look like he's going to be able to get out. They know
Yeah,
exactly where he
he
is.
in trouble right now. Yep, and that's late.
We do have some ults coming online there. We got Shatter up, Blossom coming up, Rally coming up, and Nano up.
Well, it's on the defensive side, but they're just staggering really badly right now. They really need to back out.
Star's in trouble. Yeah, she just got picked up.
I don't get this.
They're just
They
harassing
gotta
them
go
there.
back completely. Davin's just pushing them back.
Again, DNA. What is DNA doing?
I
Is
don't
it
know
just
what
trying to go
DNA's
in?
trying to do here. He got nano boosted.
That's a
Bubble
friggin'
and
gets moved away.
He only got
He gets
one
boosted?
thing, so he did get him at one, and now he gets that from Zach, but he won't get anyone. DNA gets 2, 3.
A
Johnny
very
gets-
questionable push ends up actually working out for them.
It is working out though. This is
Wild.
DNA. Oh man, this guy.
The power of buff Reaper in action there.
Yeah, we just saw it right there.
And a very fast push.
Cancel on the Rhine charge there by DNA, or no, by Star there.
6 minutes and 23 seconds for Forgotten there. That's a huge advantage in time.
Absolutely. And I'm at 85% for copying an update file, so stay tuned.
The copying for some reason just takes forever. And I've never understood how the download is quicker than the copying.
Right. 'Cause I thought I was going to be on real quick, but no, it's been like 10 minutes. This has been installed.
It's like they're electing to run a similar comp on the attacking side.
They're gonna have Johnny on Bastion. Wait, they're attacking.
Or on the defensive side, sorry. The,
Damage attacking. I'm not sure if they're gonna
yeah,
stay with the Bastion or.
they're attacking. They have 1 minute. It it seems that they're just trying to go with high damage. I doubt that he'll stick with the Bastion.
We'll see what he
But if they
does.
do, it'd be a very interesting what they're trying to, what the plan is with it. Nope, they're electing to stick with it.
Interesting.
Let's see how this goes.
They've got a lot of high damage. And the problem is that you lack the mobility, and with 60 seconds, let's see if it works out. Oh, an early sleep. Just managed to get away. Wall comes out.
Great wall use.
Mute, unfortunately, is going to be caught out here. I don't think they're going to be able to get out alive.
Oh, that's a
Huh,
big
so
pig
say
on.
what they do.
Huge 2 picks. That's gonna.
Three
Probably,
picks.
that's probably gonna do it right there. Johnny
Yeah.
is.
Johnny.
Oh, nice sleep dart use.
But he's
Don't even wake him. Yep, that's gonna do it.
that'll do it. No one else is going to be able to touch point.
Lucy's
Not
gonna
even
try to
Joanne,
contest,
unfortunately.
but nope, he's not gonna get it there in time. Forgotten has over 6 minutes to push to get this tick to win this.
Just the first tick, too.
Yep,
Yep.
plenty of time for them. Let's do it.
What are the rankings between the two of these teams?
Dabbing is 3rd and Forgotten is 4th. So
Gotcha.
pretty even teams.
Now, I'm particularly fond of the cheeky flank strat here. It can work for getting that first tick if they just went all wide, but it doesn't look like they're going for that. Just a personal favorite of mine.
Dabbing electing to go with a similar setup on the defensive side. Johnny on the Bastion, and Zach electing to swap off the Ash and go over the McCree. But it looks like DNA Shooter
Yeah.
could be running a very interesting triple tank.
They're going
Dash.
They're going double main tank. Oh wait,
Oh,
yeah, they are going with double main tank with Bison on the off tank. DNA and oh, this is interesting.
a very interesting choice of goats here.
Yeah,
running double main
they're running
shield.
Orisa
I'm
instead
not
of a Diva.
Sure.
Not
Not sure what the
Star
plan
does
is with
play
this,
Diva
but
though. So. They're
it's
going
probably
right
a
to the
potential.
point. Not even gonna waste time.
Yeah, I see what they're doing now. Yeah, they're trying to counter the Bastion.
Oh,
Pallet
that's
falls
unfortunate for
off.
Paulette right there. Unfortunate.
Picks will not go
I'm
in
not entirely
favor
sure what
of
happened
the
to
defensive
Paulette,
side
but
this
yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's gonna do it.
That is game.
That worked. That's pretty smart. They were
Yeah,
probably expecting.
after noticing,
Very
after
interesting.
noticing the reason why, yeah, they
they were expecting the Bastion, yeah. So they went double main
Yeah,
tank.
so-
That was smart.
yeah, so that they could
Very
just play the
smart.
shield game and play it on the point.
Well played.
And I am in game now. You could send me invite to group or
Well, I
game or
just-
whichever is
You can
easier.
just join on me on spectate.
Okay.
You can on the lobby.
Alright, I'm here.
Alright, so map 1 goes to the Forgotten.
Impressive, if I do say so myself.
Now entering King's Row.
Alrighty.
Heading into this map, I don't expect to see that much, I guess, of a variation or craziness of comps of what we just saw.
Sure.
I expect probably a bit more, more so maybe traditional, like either goats or something to the extent
Ranzar.
of like double sniper or something like that.
Sure. And I think it is because this is a map that is so familiar to everyone, and it's such a crowd favorite that everyone wants to play the standard comps on this because it's really just a fight of talent using the space as best they can.
Or for all we know, we could just see a bunch of Reapers, and we actually don't. We see the Widow matchup potentially.
And we do have Winston Zarya on the side of red team,
Dav.
which is dabbing. Alright, gotcha.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Could be potentially just to put a bubble over his Widow so that they can get the early potential pick off, or if they're really
To
wanting
dive
to
out.
run this, it's just a really interesting form of dive. His Visor could just, bubble.
Zach now switch
but-
to Ash. Oh no, he goes back to
What's that?
Zarya. Johnny might be just scouting with the Widow. Might then make the switch to Diva.
It might be.
Nope,
He might just be trying to get the early pick and then switch.
Yeah.
He is swapping, it looks like.
Oh, he's elected
Oh,
to
he's
keep
just
it.
dropping out. Yeah, okay. They're putting a solid amount of pressure on Ryan there. But they
Early
do
pick's
fall.
so in favor for the defense. What if it with 3 picks that fight? And he gets
The
Johnny
pick-ons
again.
on. Oof.
Took the aggressive challenge onto Johnny, manages to win it.
Yeah, I'm curious why they're sticking with Winston here. This is such a Ryan favored map. Without a full dive, it's hard to run that Winston in as the main tank, especially with the Widow deep in the back.
That honestly could be the only reasoning. Is just trying to dive the Widow, but
He's not going for it. He's trying to take the dive straight on the point. But they do get a pick onto Ryan.
and he wasted his ult. He wasted Shatter. He didn't finish the animation.
Oh, beautiful cancel there. And that's actually a good, solid roll there. Putting pressure up and taking the picks they need to secure the point.
They did just enough. And
Interesting.
Sunday were managing to get 3 that last fight as well, so they're nearing quite a few ultimates for dabbing.
And 3 up,
Unfortunately-
almost 4 on the side of Forgotten as well.
It would be 5
5.
really, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, the panic shattering didn't really get anything out of it and died. A very early dragon.
It's kicked.
Like, that was a bit of a questionable play, unless they need to do that to switch. Yeah, okay, so they go with the double hit scan. Grab gets quite a few. In response.
Trance is forced out. Keep everyone alive. And Ryan
Pixel
falls.
is going in favor of dabbing. Offense will keep rolling for the moment.
And diving it up onto the Widow is successful. Picks Wob.
Bit of very late stagger there.
They're creating plenty of space here, as long as they keep folks on point.
Payload's moving out. Keep it covered.
So Chase dives in. Grab only gets the other Zarya, but he ends up dying, unfortunately. In comes on to Nerdy Bear. Portal's being used on both sides. Impav, unfortunately, very kind of out of position. Just managed to make it back.
And Wob wins the Widow battle in the midst of that. And picks the Zarya.
And Visor swapping off the Zarya, looking to go over to the hamster.
If we look at the beginning of that fight, I did notice that Just Another Face dove real deep into third point territory with about 4 or 5 enemies around him and no one diving with him. And that did seem to be an early pick that helped turn the fight in favor of Forgotten.
Well, he got the bubble from the Zarya, from Visor. The only unfortunate thing is, again, to your point, wasn't a lot of follow-up damage, and he wasn't able to get back out. So he had already
Exactly, because yeah, and that bubble shield only does a little bit of damage reduction. It's really just to block those abilities. So when you have 4 teammates focusing on you. Anyway, back to the fight.
Shatter and Beat coming out. Have unfortunately will fall. Picks going in favor of the offense.
It does look like they're going to secure second point here.
Do have High Noon though coming up.
Oh, yeah, Visor coming out on Hammond.
Winston diving in.
The Giant's got the high ground up there, but is booped off.
He's managing to get one, but does get traded.
There's not a lot of pressure on points, so they are getting some free space here. Doing a good job of holding up high. Winston slept.
Grab getting
Huge
2.
grab. That cleave coming in. Super successful. Ryan falls. Just handing it up to the test point.
Does use his ult, but the trans and both support ults
Clears most of it there.
They did use all 3 support ults there though, so if they do lose this fight, they don't have any support ultimates. So the picks are in favor. Even with
Big
the shatter
shatter.
coming in, gets a few, but not a lot of follow-up. And just to
It
get
does
one,
fall
but
pretty quickly.
it's just buys
Got
around
Hog. Attempt to contest longer. Lucio throwing bodies at point. Doomfists. Pick successful. Strong
Solid
push.
attacking side.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Score 0-3.
Now, in between games here, I'd love to share a funny story. Last night in comp, had someone who's really tilted because our 3-stack was running, quotes, 2 off tanks and a heals, and the poor fella didn't know that Winston was a main tank.
Oh, I've had someone say that argument so many times that Winston's not a main tank, he's an off tank, and that Hamster is a main tank and not an off tank.
Also
I've
worth
had that
noting that
argument.
the map was Nimbani, and we were trying to run dive on it, as many would argue is the strongest, particularly on first point, and poor kid had no idea what he was doing.
As it feels bad, man. Like, you can kind of make the argument for Hamster being a main tank because you see a lot of main tank players switching over to him and using him to create space and
Space,
disruption in
yep.
the backline. But at the end of the day, what a lot of people classify being a main tank as is, if you look at all the other main tanks that are in the game, they have a shield. They protect other people. They protect their teammates. Hamster only protects himself. But yeah, the fact that it's just blows my mind that people think that
Winston's
Winston is an off tank.
Yeah, it's a running
To be
joke.
fair,
right
he's
now.
squishy. To be fair, he's squishy. Like, he's squishy for a main tank. But at the same time, like, most main tanks are squishy. And Ryan being the only one that's somewhat durable.
Yeah.
Defend objective A.
Alright, and they are going up through theater there.
Liking to run a bit more dive this time around.
Yeah, it looks pretty solid dive with the Widow attached.
We'll have
We do have
Johnny
Samba going in for the flank.
on the
Yeah.
goats here. Johnny gets forced out early.
Samba contesting the Widow does succeed. Big swap.
David gets demeched.
Picks in
Mercy
favor
falls.
of dabbing.
Everyone else is just really low on the points. The rest of the picks go in favor of dabbing. Wob
And an emote on point.
Wob swapping over to the Reaper. And it looks like they're going to be going a bit more tank heavy.
It's interesting, they're still making swaps there.
Yep,
There's the
yep,
goats.
yep, there it is.
On the goats. Alrighty. Taking the brawl to them. They're staying tight together, which is key. Going through hotel. Big shatter though.
Shatter. Woo! Gets 5 people there. Only managing to
They
get
are
2
able
picks.
to isolate out individuals and separate them from their core and goats here, and that'll be a successful team fight on the side of dabbing. Bomb coming in. Very successfully blocked. Fat grab. Yes, portals coming out and shatter. The defensive shatter.
EMP
Trans is
comes
forced
out.
out.
Gets everyone. A lot of ults being expended on both sides. With tank
Definitely an
with
old
presence
battle.
of point in favor of.
Does look like they're gonna
Forgot.
secure it. Yeah.
Even with the huge EMP, the focus fire seemed to be a tad off. The team seemed to be a little split, and unfortunately they lose the fight because of it. Only positive being there though is that Johnny is about halfway to another EMP.
My ultimate is ready.
Shatter comes in, gets a couple.
Does land on the impact there. I'm gonna brawl it out and push him back here. Good sleep, but nice bubble to protect. Curious to see how far they'll push up on him here. And there they fall back.
You finally disengage.
Sombra is deep in the enemy territory.
Three ults on both sides.
Good
Comes out, gets
EMP.
quiet a few.
Good grab to follow up. And that'll be the team fight.
No other ults needed. They win the team fight. They do lose the Rhine. They're pushing a little aggro. Nerdy Bear
Especially-
does get slapped.
Ryan down, but they do secure the pick onto Etch-a-Sketch. At this point, they might want to fall back a little bit, maybe speed the Rhine back just so they can have the full 6v6, because it is such a long spawn disadvantage here. And there comes the speed. Taxi on his way back. Rhine coming in behind, looking for a cheeky shatter. And he lands
Hat
it.
comes in, gets quite a few people there. Grab coming out in response.
Shatter
Both
blocks.
support ults,
Or no, we got one.
Shatter, and Bomb. The Bomb gets 2.
I think that might have been a good move to throw the shatter so he keeps the shit up one direction and keep a bomb behind. Well timed.
It was, and they got 2 support ults. Actually 3, excuse me, from the defensive side.
We'll get a lot of space on the side of the attack here.
One more fight it looks like. 4-point B. Forgotten to have just under a minute. They're at a man disadvantage at the moment. Early rally comes out.
Not being as aggressive as you'd think, except Wob is diving deep alone in the back here, 1v1ing his
grab,
zone.
and they just clean up the fight.
We'll say Wob seemed a little out of position there. He was pretty deep progressing on to the Zen without his team to follow up, so he's going to be a late stagger here.
Yep.
30 seconds remaining.
They do have beat. They're working upon 3 other ultimates as the Forgotten. Could be last fight for them, potentially.
10 seconds remaining.
As if they can get there. No, they will be able to get in time, it looks like.
Somber is just trailing behind him here. With another flank shatter. Interesting.
He does
approach
get
here.
slept though.
Yep.
And
And then
just
another
a
shatter coming out. Trance does come out and is going to give them the heals they need to stay up. But they are losing the team fight here. Picks in favor of Forgotten.
Just Sombra left to contest, she falls. And Forgotten by the skin of their teeth will be able to cap point and B.
But they already have less time on the clock than Dabbing had. So that will be worth noting. They've probably only got a couple attempts here to push it the whole way.
Come out and face me.
Rally out.
They rally.
And see, there's the Brig that's aggressing with the Ryan and Zarya together, and that's a helpful way to push them all back and take advantage of that rally. And then they fall back as the rally wears off. Shatter lands on Zarya, but counter Shatter.
Gets 2. Bomb comes in from behind, doesn't get anything.
But Impav is able to secure some picks here. 3 picks from Impav, another from Wob.
30 seconds.
Trance out just to try to contest and keep Zarya up, but that's not going to succeed. Doesn't look like it. A lot of space.
Grab EMP.
EMP does hop. Grab does land.
And that will
Good
be
picks.
the fight and potentially the game. I
Yeah.
don't know that they're going to be able to stay alive long enough.
You got a Nano Brig up on points, trying to do what you can, but with
Sorry, if she can
2v5,
get back
it
in the
does
back.
not look it over.
She doesn't,
Oh,
unfortunately.
right
get back
as
in
she
the
gets
time.
that called down.
Impav on the
Impav
hamster.
booped.
But boops up. Grab gets a
Ooh,
few
the
people,
fat grab.
but
Oh,
unfortunately, no follow-up. Not much they can really do there. And Dabbing
well,
will
even if they
hold
had been
it.
able to grab up high and then boop off a point, they only had a few meters to push, but just wasn't enough time for that, and Lucio did fall. Good attempt.
Play of the game.
Gotta love those Ryan plays where you're just swinging into a grab. Feels good. Feels good, man.
Huge bounce back map win from Dabbing. Able to tie up the series 1-1.
And here we go, map 3.
Now arriving at Eos. Initiating match.
And we're back in the action. Looking forward to seeing some big plays here, hopefully some environment. So those are always fun to watch. We got Lucio's out on both teams. Far out on the side of Forgotten. Hog as well. And Dabbing running a more traditional Ryan Czar. McCree Goats. Goats. See how this pays out for them.
5, 4, 3,
Are you guys still here?
1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Cool.
I'm just getting the angles and stuff for the stream.
Sure.
Forgotten one.
Thomas, he is going to
get
get
down
down
the point.
Yeah. Here comes the brawl.
So about that, fellas. Someone came into my door.
Johnny getting
3
too
picks inside of Dabbing. Make that 4. Make that 5. That'll be the team fight.
Looks like even though the Pharaoh was able to get one, picks go in favor of Dabbing.
I think it's because they did have the stronger front line with the McGoats comp they're running here. And once they got underneath that point, there's not as much splash damage that the power can contribute.
Forgotten switched off the Lucio for Brig, and Mute is now on the Genji.
And we will see Dabbing playing real tight together, which I think is a good move on their part. Particularly because they can retreat back to point as Farah pushes in, as they just do right now. The more time they're in that open, the more free damage they're giving to the Farah. And Zarya does fall.
Zach managed to take out
Both
DNA.
teams free picks.
Shadow
Two.
out.
Nope, Davies now has the advantage.
Yep, a lot of picks in favor for Dabbing. They will keep control of the point. And get the late
And a
stagger
late
on the back.
stagger with the boop.
First boop of the game.
Honestly, we could use an in-game stat tracker for boops. Just nice little rolling ticker.
I mean, unfortunately, not able to catch the Pharaoh.
Forgotten has 4 ults coming up for this fight. And Devin only has 3.
A lot of ults being used.
Send out a whole hog.
Oh, the cancel.
Secure a big barrage. And they're putting up pallet here.
They
Hang on,
used
flip back
everything they had on the side
Yep, they
for
have
Forgotten.
all they
They
have.
they have the rally.
All they have
it's
is rally
really
coming up.
full backup.
While the Dabbing
5
has
ultimates there to win the one fight.
and Dabbing has grab coming up.
Just
What?
They have Grav. They're
For
coming up on
sure. Oh,
Shatter.
nice
But
hook by
Grav.
Visor.
Oh, Zach
What was that?
hooked off.
You'll love to see it if you're an off-tank player.
Oh yeah.
Early pick on the mute.
But
To
it's a
get the trade
trade.
on the gun.
And she goes for the res. Is successful. You back up.
Not good.
High Noon is up again though, and doesn't even need it to pick the tar out.
Dara potentially out of... Oh! Johnny using it just to reload.
Picks in favor of dabbing, and they will look like secure the point here. With 93%, but here comes the Dragon's Blade.
It's one.
Just one though. And a big barrage.
Barrage gets two, but the Shatter comes in, kills Mute on impact. Picks actually
Bar
going
does
in
fall.
favor for the Forgotten for the moment, but as I said that, it's just Impav on the hamster.
And we do have Hog coming back with Brig. This is a winnable fight, so, and Ryan down, Zarya potentially to follow.
More reinforcements for dabbing.
Yeah, this is a continuous 3v3 here. High Noon
gets
land
one.
successfully.
Looks like first round will go in favor of dabbing.
Experience tranquility.
Very scrappy there at the end, but
Oh,
being able to pull it up.
Ready or battle.
My friends, watch these horses standing around. There's glory to be won.
Check this out. Giving you a little extra.
And we will get to see Well up next. Always exciting.
One. Round two. Capture.
Interesting comp on the side of Forgotten. They're probably expecting more diveable targets than they have here. They got the McCree they can dive onto in the Zen, but
We get the early pin though onto Nerdy.
DNA does fall.
Both Ryans out of the fight.
Both
main
Ryans
tanks
and Winston.
All main tanks out of the fight.
All three. Forgotten will cap just as Dabbing stands in the corner there. Could have contested, but maybe it was a smarter move to hold back. Do land a pick on the mute. I'm pushing into aggress. He's alone in this corner here. Does land a shatter.
Quite a
Shatters
few
two.
people there.
Three, yeah. And that will be a team fight winner there.
22% though in favor of Forgotten. Bit of a late stagger on the visor.
Heroes never die. Огонь по готовности.
Hanum comes out.
Does land
one.
on visor. But in the back line here, Impact does pick the pallet on Zen, but is booped off with no leap.
Unfortunate.
Absolutely. Hate to see that.
It's hand.
Got it.
Nice swap with the Reaper. Shatter comes in, gets a few, but a huge boot gets two! Or actually, Shield Bash Flail gets Nerdy there, so but two environmental kills. You get the res. As I say that she falls, it's
Огонь по готовности.
Only a
Zarya
couple
is
people
succeeding. Got the grab.
and
Yeah,
Dabbing
that's
somehow
good
managed to
point.
pull it back.
Yeah. What is there? Is right on his way back for some reinforcements. We got it to 86 here, so I'm curious how far they're going to play it up. Zarya does fall. That's huge. Grab
That
on the
comes in
3, but not enough follow-up.
It will
Zarya does fall. Greg, Lucio, Ryan coming on the point. Mercy in the back. Successful double boop from Etch a Sketch. That was huge. Followed up by a finisher on pallet.
That gets popping
Johnny.
off right there.
Absolutely.
Great plays. Bison now made the switch to Roadhog. Interesting. Just now they have a Roadhog on the well.
Yeah. This is the first Roadhog we've seen in this map so far.
Forgotten
no,
has
the
four.
Visor went Roadhog toward the end of the last map.
I meant this map then.
Or, but that was
Yeah. Sorry, this point. Good shatter.
Trent's keeping everyone alive though. Noon coming out.
Yeah, it doesn't get.
really good.
They're brawling it out in this little room here. Picks in favor of Forgotten.
Oh, nice
Card
pin.
comes in.
Playing back.
Pin on to Zara.
Late stagger here onto Nerdy.
And this will be huge because as they get into 74%, they need as much time as they can buy.
Devin does have 3 ults going up for this fight.
Potential last fight coming in.
Forgotten only has Sunbear to work with for this fight.
We got Rally up. Shatter is up as well. There comes the Shatter. Hits 2. Defensive.
Oh, nice
Lucio double charge boot. Whew. Love to see that.
Blossom gets
But a
one.
hook onto
Oh,
Ryan.
nice hook by Bison though. Not just another face.
Beautiful.
Oh, just
DNA
punches
falls.
DNA. It's just Bison by himself and he's gonna use whole hog. Almost got whipped up. Almost got whipped up there.
Flailed and booped, but unfortunately does not fall in the hole. He gets safely to the other side.
But now he will get
Oh, but
booped.
there goes Hog.
Crab comes in, gets the last 3 people
Oh,
on
nice.
point.
Good defensive shatter.
Gets 4.
Huge. Huge.
Shatter.
And does secure the kill onto Ryan before the trance comes out.
Yeah,
It
but they
plays
all
impact
there,
does fall
Ryan.
though.
Star will get the res off, but she will fall
Just
right
barely,
after.
but she
She
pays
does
for it.
fall.
He needs to get the res. Impact by himself and he will fall.
And they're bullied into having that room and stuck onto Hammond.
He's gonna- It's just Spicer and
Stone bodies are falling
Edgecast
again.
now. Huge shatter and that's gonna.
Good clean up to
Stop that
secure
fight.
the point by the looks of it.
Yep, they will take this map. Devin now takes it
Devin,
seriously
2-1.
2-1. That was a close fight.
Absolutely.
Dash sketch.
I just got and JL and JT both popping off on the Lucio. Got some good boops there.
Double boot over here. And then one more kill.
Does
so
finish
3K.
pallet here too. Yep.
Headshot. Alright, next map is Watchpoint Gibraltar.
We have the potential to see all 5 maps here if the Forgotten managed to bring it back on this map.
Worth noting that dabbing with no subs is still got the lead 2-1 here. Curious how they're going to play it on the side of Forgotten with the subs that they have in place. And a little bit of a deeper roster for this game.
They really haven't done a whole lot of subbing in and out, to be fair.
Yeah.
The only one that's come in was Wobbuffet. Everyone else has just been the same rosters.
Yep. And Mute's in for Wob is what they just called for. No? Oh, no.
Yep,
Responding to a different comment.
they're bringing in Wub for mute. I'm assuming they're gonna go Pharaoh Widow, probably.
Now, I will say that I am disappointed the Dabbing Doomfist is not coordinating their player icons here. Because you do have the Dabbing Doomfist perfectly designed for their team.
It's just
It's
sad.
just another
You hate
place
to see
is
it.
the only one running it. Repping the whole team. What are y'all's predictions for this map?
I want to see the Forgotten bring it back so we can see a map 5.
Yeah,
Forgotten makes another switch. Esh sketch for D from the Hood. Or rather D.
alrighty.
2
What
swords.
does D run?
I believe he's a support player.
I used to play with him. He's a pretty good support player.
Makes sense. They're pulling edge sketch there.
He's got a pretty good Lucio. I think he plays just about every healer, but he when I played with him, he had a pretty good Lucio and was working on a little bit and some Mercy.
Okay. I will say Ana could be really helpful on this point. There's a lot you can do with her kit, plus a lot of positioning that you can do to take care of your team well from the range. Now I do think that we could easily see the Widow duel come back again. And I'm checking the chats to see who was ahead in the last Widow duel here. Looks like Wob was winning some of the picks, according to the chat, at least. And they do want Etch in for Wob, it looks like.
Yeah.
Just tell them get good. Map 4 ready to go.
Arriving at Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Could definitely see some Winston being brought out on this map, particularly with the playstyles of the two teams we're looking at, plus all the high ground we can take advantage of. It's really strong both for attack and defense, particularly first point.
Could potentially see a Widow v Widow here.
Absolutely. Johnny the Man and Wob.
Ready for battle.
No, Wob came out,
Say
so
that. It looks like a potential Ash Goats, and then for the side of Forgotten, looks like they're electing to go with Goats as well.
Attackers in.
goats be goats, brawl it out.
I could have used a little
Everyone's favorite go-to comp. Worth noting that Just Another Face is on the Winston again, so a little bit more of the flying goats here that we'll be seeing. Hopefully Lucio can speed them in and out and they can call their dive successfully. Now, Forgotten is very far back, deep in the hood, not responsive, I don't think. They're down a man. They're not in position yet.
Either they're not
Hasn't
responding,
selected a
or
character.
could be potential scouting, trying to see what they have first and then pick, given that you're still in spawn.
I think, given their positioning and the fact he hasn't even picked a character, I think that he's AFK.
Yeah, looks to be the case, unfortunately.
Quite unfortunate. Just because we were hoping to see Map 5 come out here. B Diva. What's just coming in to support? And unsuccessful. And Wilson does jump out. And Dia's left again, DC'd. Unfortunate. Gotta imagine Chad is not super happy with him right now.
Probably not. Ooh, the Diva Bomb gets the high charge Zarya. Still a couple of people on the defensive side as I say that.
DNA trying to go down, so to avoid staggering here.
Unfortunately going to be a bit of a late stagger either way. Get a couple of people with the front spawns.
And looking at the chat, they did say that D was not there, but unfortunately didn't get it in before the game had officially started. Four ults up on the side of Forgotten.
See from here, they will rejoin back. Early bomb comes out, just managed to catch a Zinyan on the payload. A lot of ults being used on both sides. DNA all by himself for some reason. It's gonna fall.
And D has rejoined as Torbjorn here.
Bit of an interesting choice to go with the Torbjorn.
I think Forgotten is a little frustrated now based on the chats. I'm personally going to refrain from commenting on that. It does seem like they're fairly upset here.
Let's up the tempo.
Forgotten grouping in spawn there.
Shatter comes in, again, it gets booped around a little bit. Ult's coming out for both sides. Grab comes in,
Grab on
gets quite a
point,
few
but
people on
Trance
point.
does save a lot of them there.
Diva
But the
Bomb
Diva
gets
Bomb
2 of them.
did.
The Forgotten will be able to hold for the moment.
Justice will be done.
And Dabbing looking to still try to push this, it seems.
Well, they fall back here, but
Yeah. But a very
did force out a couple ults there.
Yeah, they forced out the rally there. A little trigger
Yeah.
happy from the side of DNA.
Successful DMAC on the Diva.
Coalescence available. Beat in response.
Good
Hits
pick on the
going in
round.
favor. Going in favor of the Forgotten for the moment. Quite a few people on fire, not in a good way. And the Forgotten will hold for the moment. Nearing all 3 tank ults on the defensive side. They do also have that beat. Could potentially use it in response to the Diva Bomb.
Did the Diva Bomb behind?
It's above them and it
Does
catches
succeed.
Visor. Both Shatters out.
Strong push from Dabbing.
Sketch. I don't know that they will be able to recontest. They're just going to be body blocked at the point. And the Ryan charges off the point!
Oh, he fell! See
The
that?
Ryan charged off the point! They could have easily capped it.
Well, they absolutely could have, and now they've got a full team to fight on point. But they are still dealing with a lot of damage in the back line there. They do succeed in taking it out as I say that.
Yeah, fight goes in favor of the Forgotten, and they could have. They got bailed out. Just
Now,
another face
wouldn't you
deciding to
love
go.
to see?
Yeah, just another face. For some reason, electing to go for the pin before capping the point. Maybe thinking that someone else was on the point instead of himself. I'm not sure.
And wouldn't you like us to see us go into map 5 with this intense of a fight after being a man down for the first half here? A strong comeback from the Forgotten here. Good Shadowlands too. Counter Shadowlands more. Coalescence to back it up, but heat is dropped as well. Impact does fall. As does Star gets demeched and falls.
And a couple of people
4
left
men
for the
up
moment.
to contest here.
Grab comes
Good
in,
grab, but not a lot of
follow-up.
follow-up. Ryan coming back in time, but is boot backwards. Out of position. Not able to get back to point here, it looks like. And Star is able to stay on point there.
Visor with the
Get a
coach
mech back
bubble
with
to
that
keep
early
her
drop.
alive.
Absolutely. But the grab on point, or Dragons on point, is going to be huge to split them up here.
Just the hamster left. Hamster unfortunately not able to survive long enough. Grab in spawn, and Dabbing will finally take the point.
Score 0-3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
They did do a good job of wearing down time there at the last couple defenses there.
Especially
55
despite
seconds
that they
left.
didn't. Especially despite the fact it was a 5v6 for most of the first 2 points.
Sure.
It's a very good job on the defensive side for the Forgotten.
Absolutely. Appreciate them sticking with it and trying to fight it out as best they can.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
No pharmacy, but they will be running the Pharah. DNA being the only DPS in this comp. And a very, very interesting hold from Dabbing, looking to hold the Mega underneath.
Absolutely. They're planning to rush them as soon as they get under with the May to help wall off.
Well, they've been finally found out.
Got a fire nonetheless.
They do have a May though. So while
They
they're
are
able to
contest
hold
them right there. Big anti, huge. And the impact does take down 2 with that.
And they immediately swap off. Johnny swapping off, going over to the Widow. He does get picked again. They are going to be able to recontest this though. Oh, they might not actually be able to. Shatter comes in, but unfortunately, they were just corralled into the left alley there. They
Absolutely.
were not able to touch the point.
They'll push forward a lot here. With Ana hiding behind point, push it forward.
They have a couple of ultimates coming up.
That was a strong push there too, especially looking at the clock here. Widow up on the high ground, Johnny dropping down.
Ults in favor of the Forgotten, nearing all 6 ultimates.
Barrage out lands 2.
It's the nano as
Shatter
well,
following up as well. That might be the team fight here. Absolutely. Good picks. Widow only left, and they will get second point here with plenty of time left on the clock.
Yeah, they did use 3 ults there, so they still do have 3 of their own. And potential late staggering kill here. Unfortunate Subnerdy Bear getting the close spawn. Gets staggered out, unfortunately. And they get JT as well! Or JL and JT. And the Forgotten are just rolling.
Absolutely.
Dabbing right now.
Strong
finally getting
pushes.
some
DNA
revenge.
does fall. Widow up on high ground. On the bridge there, uncontested currently. Good bubble to get him out. Good shatter. Counter shatter out, but is blocked. Grants comes in to support. Good anti, but only lands on Brig. And with that, Gabby will push them back to spawn. 4.5 minutes left on the clock. Still got plenty of time here.
Огонь по готовности.
Good grab, Fat. Does secure 2-3 picks almost, and Brig will fall shortly after. A little bit of free space to work with. Ryan going for the flank shatter. Is successful onto Zarya and Ryan. Zarya falls. Nanoed Ryan, gonna give them a lot of aggression to push in with. Big shatter hits 4. Trans comes out, but not before the anti lands. Big anti on the side of Stara. Getting a good amount of space, but as I say, that dabbing is getting the picks to secure the team fight. And Etch a Sketch falling back, but is not able to make it out in time for a late stagger there.
Someone get that payload moving again.
Here comes the full 6 again. Eva diving out in the Korea top right. It's successful. Johnny does fall.
Ref comes out, only managing
Ryan
to
falls.
confirm the kill in the Ryan.
Lucio successfully booping them back into the fight, but DNA just popping off on Diva there. Skits lands a kill on the Rhine. They are going to secure that team fight, and there's not enough time for a full 6 regroup here, so they will be trying to stagger them out and play the point, but they're not on point. There we go. We got someone on point to push. Gonna hold that door as best they can. Good zoning ults, but a better Deadeye does hold long enough to pop 2.
Grab
Grab.
comes in, gets the kill.
There's only 3 left to fight it out. We got a minute 40 on the clock. They're gonna have to reset here, it looks like.
That'll learn you.
You'd like to have maybe saved that grab there from Visor.
Yeah. I think it was a heat of the moment decision, and while it did secure a couple picks, it wasn't enough to turn the tide of that team fight. And you can see that Just Another Face is cheeky in the corner, but does fall back. I think he was looking for the shadow, but decided to fall back to his team. And we do have DNA swapping to the Winston here. Perhaps to dive out Johnny, not sure.
60 seconds remaining.
And the 6 goes into push. Ooh, good stun out of the shatter. Good anti. Beat does come in clutch to give some extra support on. Might have forgotten. They're pushing him back. Not too many picks, but Star does fall.
The
As does
Ryan,
DNA
flanking
shooter.
Ryan in the back.
And Zarya playing cleanup duty and pushing them back all the way to spawn with 20 seconds left on the clock.
And what started out as a very strong push turns into a very weak attacking round for Forgotten, as they're being spawn camped at the moment.
And almost
No one is going to be able to contest at this point.
Visor has gone around, but is not going to be able to make it back in time, unfortunately. And that'll be the match in favor of Doomfist, dabbing Doomfist 3-1.
Play of the game.
I love the swinging. My favorite kind of plays as a Rhine lane. So what are you guys thinking here?
As far as like MVPs, or
Yeah.
it's kind of tough to call, to be honest, because we did see a lot of the 3-3
Mm-hmm.
comps.
When those
But
3-3 comes out, it's all about the team synergy.
I'm gonna say Star Up for the Forgotten.
I was actually thinking similarly. There was some clutch antis, a bunch of really good support ults to come
And
in
some
and
well
help the team. With
Plays Diva Bombs too.
yeah,
Play well.
for dabbing, I would
Probably
probably.
Johnny, honestly.
I was gonna say it was a tie between Johnny and Zach A for me.
Yeah, I thought Just Another
Johnny's
Face did really well,
Deadeye
but
on
wasn't.
on that last map.
Yeah, that's true.
That literally stopped that push with that
Yep.
right at the end.
That long held
That Deadeye
Deadeye
was
for sure.
huge, and he just had huge plays overall in the game.
I will say Just Another Face was playing well on main tank, but a lot of his plays, as you saw in the play of the game multiple times, was coming from following up on teammates' ults. So a lot of grab, swings, and that sort of thing. But I could see it going to any of those 3.
I think we can all probably agree then, if we had somewhat of a consensus, that Johnny would be the
Yeah.
MVP for dabbing,
Johnny for dabbing,
Alright,
and Star
and
for the
then
Forgotten.
Star for the Forgotten.
Alright.
sounds good.
Well, that should do it for this round. Tune in next week, or even this weekend, for next round. It's Davin Doomfist versus Arctic Melons, and
Alrighty.
the winner of that game will move to the finals to play Ascendance for the championship game.
Ascendance.
Yep, they're
Excited
all
to
here
see
in the
how it all
finals.
plays out.
Yep, it should be fun to see what happens.
Alright. Catch you guys.
See ya, man.